Hello, everybody, and welcome to Psychics, Mediums, and Mystics, our MindBodySpirit.fm podcast network live stream event, and our first one of 2026. So I'm in a good mood here. I'm Diane Ray, co-founder of MindBodySpirit.fm, and Tina Williamson, my business partner, and I, we've been doing these live streams, and we're excited about this because we want to feature some of our amazing podcasters that we have on the network and what they do. We have such talented people on the roster here, and we want to share that with you. So today, I'm very, very happy to welcome Victoria Shaw. And Victoria is the host of the popular show Intuitive Connection, and she's an amazing intuitive counselor and spiritual channel. Now, I've been lucky enough to see Victoria in action during retreats, and we were at the San Diego Transcendence Retreat not too long ago, and she kind of blew some minds there of people that came up to the table and were talking to us, and she was able to share some information. And also, I've been to her retreat space, Cactus Blossom, and I've seen how she interacts with people, and it's really, really impactful. There's laughter, there's tears, the whole gamut of emotions when Victoria is interacting with you. So I'm excited for you, everybody, to see this and to see Victoria's work if they're not familiar with her. So welcome, Victoria. I'm glad that you could do this with me today.
I'm excited, and thank you. And thank you for that introduction. That was very, very meaningful. That alone made it worth popping on today. Thank you.
Well, this is going to be fun. We've got 5 people that are waiting to talk to you. And also, I want to throw out there for people that are watching or are just catching this later that if you'd like to be a part of one of our future monthly live streams, definitely email us at info@mindbodyspirit.fm and put psychics, mediums, and mystics in the subject line, because we're trying to do these monthly and ramping up, for the next couple of months and the rest of the year. So get in touch with us that way. So Victoria, for people that have not seen you do what you do and do your magic, I wanted you to share a little bit about what you're going to be doing today in how you connect with people's spirit guides and also share information with them from the guides. So how does that work?
How does that work? I don't know. It's kind of magic.
It's magical.
Magic. Yeah, but we all have that connection. So the way that I see it is that we're all human beings and are spiritual beings and having a human experience. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And when we come into this human world, oftentimes early on, we forget, everything that we know as spirits and souls. But there's a part of us that doesn't forget. That's our higher self. Right. And that's the part of us that holds like all of the reasons that we came in here, all of that broader awareness that our soul has, but our human self sometimes forgets. And you also have these beautiful guides that are available to you. They're intelligent, sentient beings, but they're not in human form. So they are not wearing the blindfold that most of humanity is wearing, right? They remember what you came here to do. They can see what your deepest desires and longings and intentions are, and they can sometimes see more clearly than you can. And so they're here to guide us. And many guides have been working with us over many lifetimes, often in this lifetime. Sometimes a guide will just come briefly to help us with a problem or something, or a project or something that we're doing right now. But we have this huge range of spiritual support. And I know that for me, when I started to tune into my guides and even learned that spirit guides were a thing, it just absolutely changed my life. It was so impactful because I was someone who grew up feeling very alone in the world. And when I realized that I had all the support and that it had been with me my whole lifetime, just something in me changed. And I love to make those connections for others because we do have this guidance and this support with us 24/7. And the more that we can open those doors of communication and acknowledge that we're there, the more we can feel, enjoy all the love and the guidance that they have to offer.
And you've been able to do this for a long time, right? Since childhood, or was this something you cultivated?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I was a kid, I remember having a very strong inner world and talking to my friends, my imaginary friends all the time. Not so much like an imaginary friend, but like at the bus stop, the rock, the tree, they were my friends. And I realize now looking back, because I'm very kinesthetic and I can feel the energy and flavor, that in those moments I was talking to my guides. So I didn't know that's what I was doing. I wasn't thinking, I didn't have any spiritual upbringing. So I wasn't thinking I'm praying or I'm asking for help or anything like that. Well, maybe a little bit. But a lot of the guys that I work with today, I did have deep connections with them as a child. And sometimes I could recognize them by name. But I didn't really understand what I was doing. Right. And then, like many of us, it kind of went to sleep for most of my adulthood. I was really raised in a family that was not very spiritually oriented, but very intellectually oriented. And so I kind of went that route. And I was a channeler. I was a natural channeler, but I did it through what I thought was intellect and philosophy, right? So I'd write a paper and I would go to the space beyond words and then kind of get the answer for the paper or what I was doing and then write it. And now I realize that that's channeling. But at the time, I just thought that was just how my mind worked. So I've been doing this work my whole life, but it wasn't until my 30s really where I kind of woke up to this whole idea of spirituality and intuition and spiritual connection. And people kept telling me that I was super intuitive and that I needed to use it. And I opened it up and realized it had been my superpower my whole life. I just didn't recognize it. And once I did, and this is what I want to show everyone, because everyone out there is intuitive in their own way, whether you are a medium or you can talk to spirit guides as easily as I can, or not, you have your own unique intuitive gifts. And the more that we recognize them and identify them and start to open up to them, the more, we can shine the light of our soul through our human lives.
Well, I love that you're able to have such a clear connection with spirit guides. And I've been trying to cultivate that too myself. And I think I got a little help today. I kept throwing it out there to the spirit guides. I was having these tech issues and everything did work out. Ultimately, I'm like, can you fix this? And they did. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're with us always, helping us even with little things like that.
1,000%. And you just have to ask and get out of the way and be prepared to be surprised and delighted.
Well, I want to bring in some of our participants because I know they're anxious to hear the messages that you have to share, and maybe you can connect them with a name or something of an actual spirit guide. Someone that they are, someone, I guess, I don't know if I should call them a someone. Are they a something or an entity, an energy,
it's
that they can connect with?
It's how we choose to understand them. I've always been shown that, the guides will give you a face, a persona, like to connect with you on the human realm. Right? Because they want to make that connection with you and how you understand things conceptually as a human. So they're going to meet you at least halfway, if not further, as far as they need to. And so, yeah, they can have names, they can have personalities, they can have histories if that's what you need to connect. And then some people too, a guide is just an energy or a feeling or a color or a vibe, right? So it runs the gamut. They run the gamut. But usually when I do these spirit guide readings, they do come as a personality, as something that people can identify.
Well, I'm curious to see what people get and what you come up with because we have such different participants. I'm sure the guides, who knows what we'll find. So let's bring on our first participant. And thank you so much for waiting and welcome, Waven. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So, Waven, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a little prayer. I'm going to tune into your energy, and then I'm going to open up to the spirit world and to your guides and see what guide would like to come forward for you today for this introduction. And then we'll see if they have a message for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So I'm going to ask the Ministry of Angels for myself and my client, Waven. With your beautiful white light, as I open my heart to divine unconditional love. Oh, you just felt that. And asked to connect to my wave of energy just flew into his head. And asked to connect to my highest self, guides, and angels. And this is my client, Waven. It's to be a clear channel with which to receive and communicate their wisdom. Ooh, I asked her slow down, guides. I asked to release any expectations to the outcome of the work that we do. I asked to be a clear channel. I asked to release any expectations to the outcome of the work that we do together today. And I ask that the outcome of this work serve the highest and greatest good. Amen. All right. As soon as I tune into your energy, it's like boom, 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 boom. And I see, and sometimes guides come to me from past lives in which we've known them. And that might be what's happening now. Because I see somebody running, and it feels like a very Native American, or definitely indigenous. I don't know if it's here or in Africa. So it's one of those two places, but it has that very tribal vibe. And the person is running, 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 and they're wearing sort of like very decorative clothes. So I feel like a straw kind of skirt on the waist, and then something also on their head, and things around their wrists also seem to be made of straw. And they may have either weaponry or just more accoutrements elsewhere, especially like in their waistband kind of area. And they're running, and what I'm getting happened was there was some kind of we're waking the gods, we are doing our thing, and the energy of a wild animal was attracted, and it brought up a lot of fear. And then the guides are showing me a little bit more. What happened is that this was something that happened in a medicine journey. Okay. So it was something that, so because the animal I see, that this makes a lot of sense, because the animal I see is this big black cat, which didn't feel like it fit in any of the locations that I was pulling up. But again, I get what I get. Beautiful. What animal is black in a cat? Is that a jaguar? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And so what it's telling you, I believe this is the energy that's coming for you, because it's just gorgeous. And in this medicine journey, there was so much fear, and it was almost like and it was a collective. So you kind of were all together in doing this, and this feeling of that you attracted this animal. It's a feeling of sort of a fear of waking up your own power, right? Because it's like, we do these things, we wake up the power, but the jaguar, like you don't want to pet one of those. And so what your guides want you to know about this, and I see another guide in addition to the jaguar. So that would have probably been the deity, and I don't have the name yet. I may not get it at all, but the deity that you were praying to, but I think it was a semi-human person too. So it's a little bit complicated. So that might have been like the shaman that was kind of overseeing, but you guys were all in ceremony. So you were all medicine folk. But the jaguar is a really powerful energy, and I see her as a female energy, and I now see her sitting right beside you, and she's cuddling up next to you. It's absolutely beautiful. And she's here to show you to trust in your own power, to trust in that. And, don't worry about unleashing the demon. Like there's nothing in this world that can ultimately harm us except for that fear. Right. And again, it doesn't mean we don't have caution and discernment. Those are very helpful things to have in the human world, but the fear isn't needed. And so she has her paws now over your shoulders, and she's like licking your ear. So I really want you to spend some time with her, because she is just delightful and delicious. But what she's showing me is like in that lifetime, and sometimes now, by metaphor, you run for me. You run for me, and see what a sweetheart I am. And, if you need to unleash me in a way to set a boundary, or to, really like accomplish something moving forward, or stake your claim in the world, or whatever it is that you're wanting to do with that beautiful, powerful energy that you're wanting to bring in more in the world. She's like, I'm here for you. I'll help you, but you don't have to be afraid. Like you're not going to get hurt, and neither is anybody else. Okay. So I hope that one lands. Spend some time playing with the jaguar energy. She's absolutely beautiful. And yours especially. And she has these beautiful green eyes.
Oh, I love
your jaguar.
It resonates very much so. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
That was awesome.
the jaguar, that is such a cool animal to,
Spirit
you know,
animal.
to be able to attach, you know, the spirit animal, the spirit guide of the jaguar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And yours
amazing.
is just absolutely gorgeous. So is that an animal that you've ever felt a connection to?
Not necessarily before. It's interesting when you first said it. As soon as you said, running, I was like Native American. That was
Yeah,
what it felt like, and it felt like Hopi, Zuni, Pueblo, that kind of thing.
for
And
sure.
when you said the ceremony, I got an image of what that shaman figure was like. And then I was just like, how would the Native Americans know about jaguars?
Yeah.
It's like two different continents. But then when you're
Yeah.
dealing with the spirit realm, they would have been able to see that. It's a
Yeah.
powerful one for Africa too.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
So,
the people were looking more African to me, but
okay,
like I
okay,
said, like from what I know,
yeah,
but again, it doesn't have to be literal on the other side.
right, 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 right. I
Yeah.
know, but I know that that has been an experience for me. It has been a lifetime. I've
Yeah.
seen glimpses of that. I feel complete resonance with that, and doing journeys even in this lifetime. It's really interesting because I'm continuing the thread of that through this.
Bring
So
bring her
it
with you. If you do
I will.
journeys where you are calling upon an animal, she would really like to go with you. She's been with you before, and she said again in that lifetime, um, you might have been so afraid of her that it overtook you. And she just
Yeah.
wants you to know there's nothing to fear. Everything in this world is working with us. And when we learn to tame
Hmm.
the beast, right, then the beast becomes our greatest ally.
Yeah, I actually have a journey coming up this weekend, so this is perfect timing.
There you
Thank you,
go.
thank you,
All
thank you.
right.
Mahalo.
Thank you, my friend.
Blessings. Thank you. Mahalo.
Perfect. Well, let's bring on Beth
All
and
right.
welcome
Letting
her
his
to
energy
the
go.
show. Thanks
Hi.
for waiting, Beth.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
So Beth, I want to say I love your backdrop. I've been noticing that since you came on.
Not mine, but thank you.
Beautiful. Raptors are among my favorite spirit animals. So it was so cool to see that behind you. All right. So what I'm going to do, my friend, is I'm going to say a little prayer and I'm going to tune into your energy and we will see what guide wants to come forward for you and deliver a message. Okay. And I got to let Wave and go a little bit more because I didn't take a pause to do that. There we go. All right, I'm going to ask the Ministry of Angels to surround myself and my client, Beth, with your beautiful white light. As I open my heart to divine unconditional love and ask to connect to my highest self, guides, and angels, and those of my client, Beth. To be a clear channel with which to receive and communicate their wisdom, I ask to release any expectations I have towards the outcome of the work that we do together today. And I ask that the outcome of this work serve the highest and greatest good. Amen. And when I tune into your energy, I see immediately this beautiful sunflower. And I don't know if that is an energy that is resonant with you, but as soon as I said the prayer, it's like you were enveloped in this beautiful sunflower. And for you actually too, I get for Wave, and I really felt like that was Africa, to be honest, like once I honed in on it. And again, oftentimes we have multiple lifetimes with similar themes. So if you are a shaman in Africa, you are probably a shaman, in South America and, North America too. Right. But for you, I'm getting, and I can't say the name, and I don't know if she's Hopi or something else, because I don't always get the left brain stuff right. But it's a name, and maybe someone's going to know it because it's going to drive me crazy because it's a guide that has a name. It starts with a Q, like Kurtzal, or does anybody know? It's a Native American. Let me just see if I can get it. So frustrating. Quertzl. It's something. I'm missing some some vowels rather, but it's something along those lines. And it's a female energy. Though it might have sometimes been depicted as male, they're saying, but for you, it's a female energy. And it feels Hopi to me. But again, when we Google it after the show, we'll find out, what the mainstream is, but it doesn't really matter. But she's kind of coming to you, and she's showing me a couple of things. She's showing me knitting or doing things with her hands. So weaving, knitting. And then she's also showing me like the peace pipe. So those are the two things that I think that she is most, and she's the goddess of the harvest, she says. Okay. And that is the one. Yes. The feathered serpent. Oh, well, I'm not even close.
Quetzalcoatl
Yeah. It feels exactly like
is the
that.
name.
Thank you, Waven. Okay. Aztec, Maya. Okay. We're there. Close freaking enough. Okay. I'll take it because she's the one. But I wanted to back into her energy because I don't need any of that. But I did want to get the name. All right. But it's different for everybody. But definitely look her up because that's exactly who I was seeing. And definitely the goddess of the harvest. And that's, or who's invoked in the harvest. And of creating things and the reason it's relevant for you is that you're in a season of your life of planting a lot of seeds. You've been planting a lot of seeds. That's why I'm also seeing the beautiful sunflower, which I feel is part of this too. At first I read Mesopotamian. Oh my God, I can't speak. Anyway, it's closer than I thought when I misread what you guys put in the chat. But back to you, Beth, and the guide whose name I will not try to say. We will call her Q. It's a time of harvest for you, and you've planted a lot of seeds. And I think you've had some grief too. So you've watered some of those seeds with your tears over the last few years. That's what I see. And this is the time for the harvest. This is the time for the harvest. Start looking for those little seedlings to start poking their little, little sprouts. That's the word I'm looking for, out from the soil. It's time. And the other energy that I think is really helpful for you if you're not embracing it already is the sunflower. And I realize that's my brand. And I have one right behind me. I forgot that I'm in the room with the sunflower today. But that was given to me by a teacher years ago when I started my business as my brand logo. And something that she said to me, I feel like I want to pass along to you. She said, the reason that the guides are giving you this as your logo is because of all the seeds that you're going to plant in the world, because sunflowers have like thousands of seeds, right? Relative to their size. I mean, they're really amazing. And so they just want you to know that you're ripe with these seeds to plant, that you've planted a lot, that there can be more, and that they're starting to grow, they're starting to blossom. And as they do, like, just imagine like one good wind will blow all those more seeds out into the world again, right? For you and for others. So I hope that one lands. Have fun with that guide. And I love having an archivist here to help me when I can, when my left brain can't pull it all up.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
That's a tough name to remember, though. I could see
Yeah,
having a problem with that one.
The evidential mediums that get names, I'm so impressed because it's funny, but my dyslexia works on the other side. I have a lot of trouble phonetically. It's rare for me to get a name right. So it's just funny how it works.
Let's see what you can get for Carol.
All right.
And we'll bring Carol on.
Okay.
Hi, Carol. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right. Taking a second to let Beth go. What a delightful energy. I can't wait to see what she does with all those seedlings. And Carol, let me tune into your energy. You got a lot going on. All right, Carol, I'm going to ask the Ministry of Angels. You just need a big hug. So your guide just came in and gave you a big hug. And I'm going to ask the Ministry of Angels to myself and my beautiful guest and client, Carol, with your beautiful white light, has opened my heart to divine unconditional love, and asked, I already know who your guide is, and asked to connect to my highest self, guides, and angels, and those of my client, Carol. Asked to be a clear channel with which to receive and communicate their wisdom. I asked to release any expectations I have towards the outcome of the work that we do together today. And I asked that the outcome of this work serve the highest and greatest good. So you really have two guides coming up, and they're of a similar energy. One is a more religiously oriented guide. And, I say this with the provision that you don't have to buy into a particular, these guides, and energies are here for all of us. And, when I first started doing this work, I was a Jewish kid raised with zero spiritual upbringing. But early on, one of my favorite friends to talk to was Jesus, and has been my whole life. Right. And so it's just, and sometimes, I remember other bodies where I was in the Christian faith, but he's just one of my soul friends, and for you, the first guide that's coming up is the Virgin Mary, is Mother Mary. And I think it's just because you really need that energy and that loving energy. And the other one that's riding with her, and I feel like it's just another iteration, because a lot of times too, the Divine Mother comes in many forms. This one is called Sue. And it's not S-U-E, it's Sue, like the sound. It's like the sound of the wind. And I believe this is from an indigenous culture, probably one that's not highly recognized, because I'll come closer, because I've never heard that one before. But it's very, very clear. Sue, it's the name of the wind, and it was the mother god. And again, Sue, and I can't say it, but I can hear it, and Mary are both here to help you and to provide some soothing, to provide some faith, and to let you know whatever's going on, you will get through it, and to hold you through it, and to also help you hold yourself a little bit more. Because I think when things get hard, you are the kind of person who has been very adept at helping everybody else. And now it's your time to, give some of that loving energy to yourself, and to be able to receive that, from the spirit, but also hopefully from some humans in your world that are ready to give back and see that you're struggling or suffering or just needing those hugs and that support, and they want to show up for you. So I really invite you to find that place in your heart to let them in, both the spirits and the humans that want to support you through whatever is going on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any questions? I know that was quick, but I also think that was a lot.
That's okay. I mainly just wanted to know about my spirit guide or guides.
Yeah, I would spend a lot of time with both of those. They both really, really resonate with you. And again, they seem to be variations on the same theme, whereas Mary is one that we broadly recognize. Sue is someone that you've known from other lifetimes long, long ago. And they're both here to support you.
Thank you.
So much love.
Thank you.
That's interesting, Victoria, that it would be a sound, because you described it as Sue, not that we would traditionally think of like a Susan.
It's like
Susie, like shoo.
It's like no, you did it. You did it much exactly.
Shoo.
Yes, it's exactly like that. Yeah, and that was the name that it was given, because that was the call of the sound of the wind when she was doing a particular thing. It was when the wind is gentle, is what they're telling me. So that was the name that was given to the gentle wind. And that's the energy she needs, the energy of the gentle, loving wind.
That's interesting. And maternal, it seems like, as well.
Yeah.
Divine feminine and maternal energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's bring on.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I want you to finish.
I was going to say, sometimes too, the guides know better. We have this human recorded history, and I love it. But there's so much out there, that hasn't been recorded yet, that your soul knows. So.
Yes. Well, I'm interested in this next participant here, Ange, and she's bringing her canine friend here, Lulu.
Yeah. Right.
Aww.
And you wanted a message rather than a connection to a spirit guide, right? So tell us quick, and hello, Lulu, and hello, Ange. What would you like guidance on today?
So Lulu has very severe separation anxiety.
Okay.
And she cannot be left alone even for a couple of minutes.
Okay. And I tuned in because I knew this question was coming, and I tuned into you before. So, and I'm getting the exact same answer now, and it might be a little surprising, and I'm going to give you the quick version. And first, I want to just kind of tune into Lulu and just say hello. She's so cute.
Yes, she is.
So what often happens with our animals, right, is that they feel into our energy. Right? And so, like, just like children, right? If you ever had a child with separation anxiety, right? The first thing they tell you is you got to calm yourself down, right? Because your kid is picking up on your vibe, right? If you don't feel safe, they don't feel safe. And that's a little bit what's happening with you and Lulu. It's complicated. So we could spend a lot of time on this, which we don't have today. But so this is like part of the answer, or a short answer. But the thing that Lulu was showing me when I did my little pre-check-in, because I was curious, is that there must have been a time, or there might have been a time when your physical health was in a very, very precarious place. And she felt like, I think, did she know you then? Because what she's showing me is her separation anxiety is more about you than about her. She's worried that something bad will happen to you if she's not looking out for you. And so she wants to be with you all the time. Does that resonate?
Yes, because
yeah.
days that I am not doing well with all of my medical stuff, those are our worst days. I mean, she is glued to me, like, and she will lay on top of me, and literally hold me.
Yes. And you don't mind that.
No, I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So she knows that that's her job, and that's what she's here to do. She's here to give you grounding and safety. And so when you're gone, she's worried that she won't be able to help you if you have a problem. Okay. And so what you need to let her know is that when you're gone, you have other people to help you, that you're going to be okay, that, you know, she's going to be there when you need her, and that you're going to be safe when you're not with her. And, you know, you have to also know that for you too, right? And I think as you start to do that, she'll relax, because what I get is that when you're not with her, she worries about you. Okay. And when she goes to familiar people, you know, then, you know, she's kind of used to that routine, that she knows that, you know, you're going to be okay because you're not worried about her when she's with a familiar person. So then she's not worried about you. But the biggest piece is just let her know how much you appreciate her, but also let her know that you're okay. You're going to be okay. Okay. And that she doesn't have to do her job when, you know, when you are separated, that's because you feel okay. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Is there any guidance on how, because right now I literally can't leave her at all. Is there any guidance on like the steps to take? Because I have been trying to talk to her and tell her it's really important for both of us to have our time, and
she's still reading your signals and your worry. And I do again feel like there was a time when you almost died. And I don't know if it was in this body or another one, but it feels like there was at least something in this body. And when she loops in that when you're not around, does that make sense? She just loops in it like she could die, she could die, she could die, she could die. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And one thing, practical thing that I think would be helpful is, I know now you drop her off at other people's houses. Find someone to come to your house and stay with her.
They do.
They do. Okay. That's good. And then do the little bit of the cognitive behavioral therapy for dogs. And you may want to get a trainer rather than a dog sitter. So someone who's a little bit tougher, or you may want to be the person that you start to, Lula, I'm going to go sit outside on the front, but you're going to stay inside. Like, start little by little with that separation so that you both get a little bit more comfortable. Right. So, you know, for example, we never did this, but we had a dog that was terrified of being in the crate. And if we weren't in the room. And so, you know, you move away a little bit, you go for 3 minutes, you come back. Like, that's the kind of thing that I think that will be very helpful for her. But the biggest thing is she's worried about you. So when you're worried about her, you kind of both spin. So you both have to be like a little bit more comfortable. And the guides are saying, and she's saying a little bit too, she's totally zoned out right now, but you know, the other thing that's coming up, if we have a little bit more time too, is the physical space is a little bit stimulating for her. And it just feels like there's a lot of energies in it. And so when you're there, she's like with you because she's kind of protecting you from the energies. But when she's alone, it's just like, it's a lot of energies for her. And so you may want to kind of get your house cleared, or you may want to ask the guides to wait outside, you know, when you're not home, you know, or even just, I'm going to just empower her, if it's okay with you, And I'm
Yes.
going to tell her, you can also like set the energy in the house, Lulu. So you can sit there and say, when my mom is not here, you know, only the energies that are resonant with me belong in this house. And I don't have to police it. I just tell them to go. And then I can kind of go in my bed and relax. But she is just a little agitated in the house as well. And, you know,
Okay.
there's just a lot of stirred up energy in the house that sometimes agitates her. So if you can do something towards that, that'll help too. But it's mostly just letting her know that you're okay and that she's doing a great job with her job. And I think that'll help her calm down. Okay. I hope that helped.
No, it's huge. It's awesome.
Okay. Thank you. Mwah. Sending you both so
Thank
much
you.
love. I love you, Lulu. You're so cute. She's very calm right now.
She's
What a
had,
great message.
yes. And she's had some calming meds. So I wanted her to
Oh.
be fully prepared for today.
Oh, that wasn't needed. She could be barking around. But anyway, thanks for coming and
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thanks, Ange. So can humans and animals have a spiritual connection across lifetimes? Like maybe Lulu and Ange were connected in another life.
1,000%. 1,000%. We invite them back. We can sometimes invite the same animals back in the same lifetime. I've had that happen for me as well. So, you know, they're our companions and they love us as much as we love them. So, you know, there are many, many different ways that they can play with us and continue to enjoy sharing the journey with us in our human experience.
That's such a beautiful idea. I love that. Well, last but not least, let's welcome Carla. And thank you so much for being patient and joining us today. But I'm sure it's going to be worth the wait.
I'm sure. Thank you.
All right. So I got to let Ange and Lulu go. Hold on. All right. Oh, you have a lot that wants to come through for you, my friend, but we'll give you the guide. And then if you have a question, we might have time for that too. So I'm going to ask the Ministry of Angels for myself and my client, Carla, with your beautiful white light. Oh, I see your guide as I open my heart to divine unconditional love and ask to connect my highest self, guides, and angels, and those of my client, Carla. As to be a clear channel with which to receive and communicate their wisdom, I ask to let go of any expectations I have to how this thing is supposed to go. And I ask that the outcome of this work serve the highest and greatest good. Amen. Oh, I see your guide or an energy. I think it's your guide. I can't tell if it's a past life or a guide, but I'm going to just follow the thread. I see a woman. Again, we got the Native American theme going today. And this one definitely is North America. I can't tell. I don't have enough information to know which one, but she looks like standard, you know, how we would say, I want to say Sioux, but, I could be wrong about that. Long black braided hair, outfit made out of deer skin, something definitely around the head. And I see a youngish woman. So no more than 16, 17. But she's very, very adept at her craft. And one of the things that she really loves to do is throw arrows. They're not bow and arrow, it's thrown arrows. I see it. And she's very good. And she is a huntrix. Okay. That's the word I get. I'm sure that was not the original, but that's the one that they want you to have. She's a huntrix. And I see that, I believe it's buffalo, but like big animals that you would throw this big spear and, you know, that's how you would fell the animal. And then they were also very kind because oftentimes the first hit would not kill the animal. They would have like some kind of medicine on it, but then you would sit with the animal and help them to cross over, like put your hand on them and speak to them and help them cross over in the most gentle way possible, which is just absolutely beautiful when you think about it, right? Because it was definitely they used every aspect of the animal, the food, but they were very grateful. And when they felled the animal, they would think of the animal as being a volunteer. And they would be very grateful to the animal. And it was definitely the great buffalo. Was the energy, but her name, what I'm getting, I don't think it's the exact phonetically right, but it's very, very clear that this is what you can call her, is Penelope. And like I said, she was just a great buffalo hunter, just a beautiful energy. And I believe, I don't know if it was directly you in a past lifetime, but she just has, but I feel like you're really wanting to invoke that. I feel like you probably knew her in a past lifetime, but you're really wanting to invoke this energy of female independence, this energy of female, dominance is the wrong word, but like just competence. Like, she was a young woman, but she walked among the men. She walked among the men easily and nobody questioned it. She was the best hunter of all of them. And nobody questioned that she belonged there. And the other energy that's really coming up is the buffalo themselves, because, at some point she never was, because she was a girl. So she said, like, I was kind of given an honorific, but nobody really took it seriously because of my gender. They let me hunt and they listened to me, but they did not, the culture was already sufficiently not masculine dominant, but segmented. Like, girls did this, boys did that. So I could walk around along the men and I could be among the hunters, but I was never their equal. Okay. In certain respects, in certain regards. And this could have been a past life for you, because it's sticking in your craw right now. Yeah, it definitely was a past life. This was definitely you. But at the same time, you can call on this energy of this former you, because that would be helpful. But I see two other guide-like energies coming up through this. But she's telling me that she's here. She's making this reappearance in your life right now, like however you want to understand it, whether you are her or you're just connecting with her energy. I think it's a little bit of both, to really help you find your sense of competence, your sense of, and your sense of equality and self-sufficiency and all of that. But she also wants you to know something. She says, what made me such an amazing hunter was both my patience, my perseverance, and my focus. And these are three things that you're really being asked to develop right now, especially that focus, that presence. She's like, the way that we understood it is, it wasn't about catching the animal or besting the animal. That's not how I understood it. It was about this perfect synchronicity where the animal puts itself in the way of the arrow and the arrow finds its mark. Okay. Does that make sense? It wasn't about chasing it. It's not this. And that's the kind of energy that they would like you to start to bring into your life, that synchronicity energy, that understanding that everything comes your way when it's supposed to. And that when you're really, really present, right, the target appears. It just appears. And then, it becomes yours. And they're also saying the energy of the buffalo itself is really important to you. I know there's a guide or something called White Buffalo Woman or whatever, but this is actually buffalo. So I really feel into the energy of that animal. Such a beautiful animal. And again, she says, I was never given that honorific. Like, I wish I had been given, like, she who catches the buffaloes or whatever. And she says that the chief of our tribe was, he was what you would call now misogynistic, but she says he was very set in his ways and very rigid. And he simply, if I had been a boy, he even said to her, if you had been a boy, you would have been this, but you're a girl. So, like, be happy that you're allowed to hunt with us. And it was a great disappointment to her, right? That she could never accomplish certain things because she was in a woman's body. And she does not want that to carry forward with you. Okay? Anything is possible. Okay? So any beliefs that you may have lingering in the back of your mind about limitations because you are in a female skin, it's time to let go of those. You are the buffalo woman. Okay? And so much more. And that's the message she wants to give you. And she says there's so many qualities that we developed in that lifetime. And, she's like, just call on me when you want to bring some of those rememberings back to your current experience. And she says, this is so beautiful. She says, what you're doing for me, Carla, is you're showing me the freedom that I never had known in the life that you're living now. All right. So I love that. I'm glad we got to end with that one. That was beautiful. Thank you.
I have to tell you that, I don't know, for some reason, I've always, a guy used me for a Boy Scout patch, my face, because he said it was supposed to be for the Native Americans. And he's like, you have all the features. And but I've always like felt a kindred spirit towards them. And the number one thing that I started working on maybe a week or so ago through my meditations was focus.
There you go. Well, if that's not validation, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And then
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And then my brother said something about a month or two ago, and I'm like, I can't talk to you, but it was this. You're single, and so you need to have a man so that he can guide you to be. So like, I'm like, so like every all 3 points that you made about that are just like spot on.
Yeah. And
Thank
I
you.
believe when your brother said that, I hope that you disavowed him of those notions. Exactly. That's what I see. You're just like, what? And she said, like, she's like in that lifetime, like I never had the courage or the understanding that I could speak up and say, no, this isn't right. I just took it because I was so happy to be able to even do what I could do. And she's like, it was so wrong. And she was like, I was the best hunter out of any of them. And so are you.
I fought this throughout my entire life, and I came out on top. And now I know why.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to, don't throw spears at animals, because it's not something that we do.
No.
We do here now. But anyway, but if it may be, I know there's places that you can do like knife throwing or thing, if that ever speaks to you, but I think, you could play with that, in a safe environment. But I also think that it would be great for you to kind of imagine that, like when you have something that you're really focusing on and you really want like a manifestation or something, like in that moment when you're like, okay, it's all the energy is right, I'm ready to release it. Just imagine, you could even do it throwing that spear, and then just trust, you'll catch up with it. It's going to hit the target.
I love that suggestion. I really do. That's great. Thank you, Victoria.
Thanks for coming. That was a fun one. It was a great way to close.
That's so interesting. The themes that you touched on with that particular reading, first to be laser focused and have patience, but knowing that you're good at something and not being recognized, and having that frustration or anger as well, kind of dealing with those kind of emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing I love about doing the spirit guide readings, Diane, is that like I never know what I'm going to get. And they're all so different, and when I first started doing it, I was like, because you don't know, you get what you get, and you don't, and the first thing was just seeing how they landed and that people were feeling it. But I had a friend tell me too, she's like, when I watched you do it, she's like, I know you can't be making that up because they're all so different. And and
detailed.
Yeah.
Like the details you got.
Yeah, but I just love how they're, it just shows that our guidance is so unique to us. It's not the same for everybody. It's just, and I love that about it.
It's so beautiful and affirming to hear all the different messages that everyone got, and knowing that we all have this spiritual guidance and support when we're feeling so helpless and maybe crazy and unsupported, especially these days with so much uncertainty around us, that we always have that we can turn to.
Absolutely. And, sometimes people think too, when things go wrong in their minds, they think, well, my guides let me down. Why did my guides let this happen? I get that a lot. I had that from a client the other day. Well, if I have spirit guides, why are they letting this happen? And so I just want to say, like, your guides are always supporting you, and they're always loving you, and they're always helping you to the extent that they can. But they will never step on your free will. And they always have to keep enough distance for you to have your human experience, to make your mistakes, to have your experience, right? And so we never want to let the idea of guides disempower us to thinking like, I'm helpless, guides fix me. It's a synchronicity. They're working with you, and they're always helping, they say. And they say, if you can look at the positives, right, that's where you'll see them best, right? In the areas where, you may say like, well, why did I get into this car accident if I have spirit guides? Why didn't they tell me not to go on the road that day? And sometimes they do, and we don't hear. And sometimes they don't, because this is something you invited into your space for learning and growth, right? But then you have the car accident and look, you're fine. Or this person shows up to help you. Or, the insurance magically pays off without you having to do anything, right? They're always supporting you. And so when we can tune into what's going well, that's when we can see this our spirit and our guides, at their best doing their job. And that also helps us get back on track for knowing how loved and supported we are, even when life feels a little bit bumpy.
That's such a great reminder. And for the people that are out there listening or watching, if this resonates with you, if you're into finding out more about spirit guides and spiritual guidance, definitely check out Victoria's podcast, Intuitive Connection. She's got all kinds of amazing guests and information to share on the show. So make sure you subscribe. And also, don't forget to send that email, info@mindbodyspirit.fm. If you'd like to be a part of one of our future shows, we're going to be bringing on different hosts from Mind Body Spirit Podcast Network to share their gifts like Victoria did today. We're so grateful that she did. So I want to thank everybody and all the participants for joining me. And I hope that all of our listeners also go to YouTube, hit subscribe over there, and make sure you join us, our other podcasters that are part of the mindbodyspirit.fm podcast network.